Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soul Conscious Tarot. This is going to be our weekly soul weather forecast, where we are going to pull some oracle cards and get some pulse tarot and get some messages and see what the energies are for this week. We're going to see what we can expect in our energy. So what popped out already, I'm going to pull one more card because that one popped out really quickly. So there was another one that popped. Okay. So I was feeling that. And this is the Enchanted Oracle deck, by the way. I usually just pull at least one Oracle card to begin. I just, whatever feels right. This is interesting because I just pulled, I don't know if you've watched it or not, but I just pulled and published a reading on just a few days ago, prior to the weekend, the Mars and Venus in Leo energy. And this plays into it a little bit with the light and the dark. So that's why I'm referencing that video, because I see the tie-in, and it's interesting because when this is, I'm doing this I pulled this a little bit before the day it actually releases to you guys. It'll be, because I publish this on Saturday. So that would be, what is it, the 3rd or 4th or something, which is like a day before. This is like a day or so before Venus actually goes into Leo, because Venus goes into Leo on June 5th. Okay, so that's when Mars already has entered Leo. It entered it, I believe, on May 20th, and then Venus enters Leo on June 5th, which it'll be right after this reading. So I'm going to tell you, I highly recommend, if you haven't watched that reading that I published on Mars and Venus and Leo, to go do so, because I see this is probably going to have some tie-ins, some correlations. So we have here 33 peaks of joy and 7 into the unknown. I've been seeing a lot of 3-3s recently, which I'm not really good at the number meanings of things, but as far as synchronicities, I know typically I don't see a lot of 3 double and triple 3s popping up, and I have been recently. So if for those of you that know what those numbers mean really well, you feel free to share in the comments with others about that. But I have been seeing that regularly. But I like that she's looking at this, like the colors on this card and how lit up they are, and that she's looking at this butterfly, which butterflies represent transformation, and I love that this is peaks of joy, because I really feel like this is the energy we're going into with Leo, and that there's this sunny feeling off of this card. There's this light energy, because that's very Leo energy, that sun energy. That's why the sun represents Leo, is one of the cards of Leo in the deck, in the tarot deck, because Leos bring a lot of light with them. They're usually a lot of sunshine, a lot of light, and that's what people gravitate to, because not all Leos, but a lot of one of the traits about Leos can be that they can be more outgoing, more like kind of gregarious and over the top. They're kind of an over the top energy, and I like how this is peaks of joy and how she's up high, because it's that over the top. Like I said, I'm getting that same feeling of over the top energy, and we may be experiencing that very soon as these two planets enter Leo, where we're going to have a lot of creativity and fire and passion that's going to hit us and strike us. But what that brings about with this into the unknown, for many of the signs, for many of us that aren't used to these kind of energies, it's going to feel like we're in the unknown a little bit, because it may make us a little uncomfortable in some ways because it's not something we're used to. We may not be used to those type of energies, so we may doubt them. Because if we talk about sevens, especially like the Seven of Swords, in a sense, because I actually get a combination with the seven here and the way she's blindfolded. I'm getting, the blindfolded. I'm almost getting, and even with the way these little things are in the back, almost like an Eight of Swords energy, a little bit off of this card. And so, it can lead to us being uncomfortable or unsure about the way we're feeling or the way we're approaching things. That when we're in energies that we're not used to sitting in all the time, it can lead to some confusion. It can lead to feeling uncomfortable or feeling unsure and unsteady about what's happening. But let's go ahead and dive in. We got to get our emoji card. Let me pull those down a little bit. Let's get our emoji card for the week. And if you haven't joined us, I try to always pull an emoji card of how our emotions are going to be setting. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope you'll consider doing so. I'd love to have you, of course. Love to have any support that you wish to share with me. I appreciate that so much. Let's see, what can we expect emotion-wise? Oh, that almost ties in with that, into the unknown. And the first thought that popped in my head, and I'm going to share it with you because I always do. Especially when I'm doing readings, because I think anything that comes through is significant. But the first thought that came into my head is oh no, what do I do now, is what came to mind. And so I'm almost getting this feeling of, you might, because of the energies we're in, you might get approached, or you might have something come, like either someone, I think you're going to be confronted with something, or several of us might be confronted with something we weren't expecting, and it's going to catch us off guard. And it definitely has to do with other people. I think someone, or a situation is going to happen. It's almost given me a little bit of in some ways like a tower moment kind of experience, where it's going to catch us off guard and throw us off balance. And I feel like it's tying into this into the unknown, where it's going to kind of just get us out of our comfort zone and throw us off balance. I think I'm going to use the Light Seers deck as what I'm going to use for our baseline energy here. Okay, so what do we need to know this week, universe? What can we expect? What's the energy for this week? What do we need to know for this week? What are we going to experience? What are we going to be experiencing, please, for this coming week? The Queen of Cups. I feel like this is like, I don't know if I've got the cards like cockeyed or the camera cockeyed, but I feel like they're not straight there. It's maybe just me. I think the camera might be not quite level. Okay, so the other card, okay. Yep, they're popping out. I have them just flipping. So we have the Judgment and Justice. Yeah, I think something's going to unexpected. So it's interesting because I don't know if you watched my love vibe or my weekend love vibes video, but that video talked about, that you might have somebody from your past that might come around, that feel like there might have been some kind of disagreement between you and another person, and from your past, and that person may come back around during this coming energy and what's coming up, especially like this weekend. I did it for the weekend, but time is fluid, so it's just what's in the energy when I pull the cards and the intention I put behind it. So it doesn't necessarily have to be just that weekend. It's just what we might be able to expect. And and it's a little bit fluid, so you got to give or take some time there because we're all on different timelines. But I love the fact that this is, it talked about somebody maybe from our past wanting to make amends. Somebody maybe wanting to set the record straight, or for whatever reason. And I could see how that could shock us. I definitely could see here how that could shock somebody or shock anybody. If you haven't heard from somebody, you had a falling out with somebody and you haven't heard from them, and then all of a sudden they contact you and say, they either apologize or they say, hey, what's up? Because especially with this energy that's coming up, it's going to put people in that more passionate, can be high sexual libido, but also giving people more confidence and to do things that they normally wouldn't do. So, they may, you may have somebody approach you that you weren't expecting to approach you, that could put you off guard a little bit, that could put you, it might be something you weren't expecting that might throw us off balance a little bit. But I think that we're going to go ahead and get some clarification, of course, but I really almost am feeling like that with that, it's going to be all in how we handle the situation. And with the fact that these energies that are coming into play, we do have to be very careful during this time period while Mars and Leo and Venus are in Leo, that we handle things correctly, that we make sure we keep our pride in check. So be careful with how you respond to others and how you handle certain situations, because we are going to have this fiery energy, extremely fiery. Mars and Leo can be very volatile because we have so much fire and so much passion, and that can cause people to overreact or react in a confrontational or combative, volatile way. So just keep that in mind. And even when you're getting, if someone's approaching you, with something that could possibly set off an argument, keep in mind that it could be this energy that's pushing them to do that, to act in a way that they maybe normally wouldn't act, or they wouldn't, under normal circumstances. So not that I'm giving anyone a way out or making, an excuse for anyone's behavior, for sure. I mean, you definitely don't just say it's okay for somebody to act that way, but do understand, or at least in your own frame of mind, if you're watching this, it's allowing you the opportunity to be gracious, to be compassionate and gracious and understanding of saying, that you can respond in a way that comes from a place of grace, that comes from, I am going to understand that you may be acting this way on a spur of a moment, like out of your norm, and so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt here, as far as, I'm not going to react to this. I'm going to take it with a grain of salt and be, not put fuel to the fire, because I think under these energies, we have the potential to add fuel to the fire. So we have to be really, really careful about how we interact with people during this time, is what I really feel like here. And we have with the Queen of Cups and the Judgment and the Justice here, I really feel like it's a time when people are going to, this really embodies, like somebody making amends, somebody that wants to set the record straight, someone that wants to make things right, set things right, but it's coming from a place of confidence and passion to do something that under normal circumstances they maybe wouldn't do. And so, this could be even, for some people it's going to be shock. It's not necessarily going to be, like a bad thing. It could be like, you could have thought when pigs fly, this person wouldn't have done this. It would take pigs flying to get this person to do this, but under these energies, I really feel like people are going to be more willing to say and do things that they normally wouldn't under normal conditions or in the normal energy. So just be really aware of that. But let's go ahead and start getting our clarification here and see what we have to add to this. Why is this Queen of Cups here for us, universe? The Queen of Wands. So in this strength, yeah, that's that confidence. Like I said, that's that confidence that you can do something and share something that you normally wouldn't do. So, you may be willing to say or do something that you normally wouldn't do under normal circumstances. And in that regard, that applies to other people in your life as well. They might have the strength and the confidence to be a little bit, I love that the Queen of Wands came out here, honestly, because that's that Leo energy definitely shining through in this reading, especially coupled with the Strength card. This is Leo right here. That's that Leo energy showing right up to the party on the Queen of Cups, which is the Venus energy coming through. So this is that, that fiery energy on that Venus energy, that love energy that can talk about being really passionate when it comes to matters of the heart, that passionate drive for something. But we have to be careful with that energy, because when our sexual libidos are fired up, we may do things that we might regret. We may connect with people we may regret connecting with. So just keep that in mind. And then we have the Four of Pentacles on that Judgment card, coupled with the Two of Wands. So this is, I kind of explained this, with that Four of Pentacles, it really is where people maybe have, there was this decision whether they should or shouldn't do something, where they've been, where people in normal circumstances might have held back. They may not have made this choice and made this decision. Under this energy, they're going to feel the confidence in this and have the strength to do things that they typically wouldn't have done, that under other energies would have held them back. I can see already that I'm gonna have to move all the cards over just slightly here, because I want to make sure I can get those last cards on the table here. Make sure I grab the right deck. So let's get 2 cards on Justice, please. 2 cards of clarification on Justice. The Seven of Cups. And the King of Pentacles. So I really feel like here it's talking about a balance of, like, where there was confusion before, so if you think about, like, Seven of Cups can talk about having options or being confused, okay? In this energy, it's going to balance out, where you can understand it better. With that, King of Coins is about, it can represent lots of things, but in this instance, to me, the way I'm feeling it is where things are going to, where you may have felt some confusion around something before, it's going to be clarified, or it's going to, you're going to get a more tangible understanding of what you desire, in a sense. I don't think that's partially right, but it's like there's the potential here to solidify something, or bring something into a more solid place than maybe it has in the past. The opportunity to do that is here under this energy, but whether it happens or not, there's a lot of people can, we have free will, so we make the choices that we do. But under this energy, there is the opportunity to solidify things in a way that maybe in the past have not been so solid. I feel like we're with this. It's interesting. The thought that I'm getting here is I've built my house on sand. And so it's been crumbling because even though I've been trying to obtain this, this magical, mystical place, I'm trying to obtain something that is, like the kingdom, the golden kingdom. I'm trying to obtain this. It's been hard to obtain. I haven't been able to solidify those things because there's been too much going on for whatever reason. It's like something in an area where it has been it hasn't been solidified. That's where I feel like this is showing that solidification, because Pentacles talks about the 3D reality stuff that you can you can, the tangible, and something that's tangible. So and with it being the king, this is like the highest suit you can get in Pentacles. So this is telling me that something that has not been, that hasn't been very tangible or solid in the recent past or in your life is now has the opportunity to become more solid and tangible, to solidify, which is going to has the potential to better your life in some way. But we do all have free will, so the choices we make can affect this in a sense, but it's stating the opportunity is there. You're going to have an opportunity to solidify something, and that's where this into the unknown can come into play, because it's something that we didn't see. I like that the sevens are here, and that 7 was tying together, where I feel like, I said that with this card that I was feeling almost an 8 of Swords, where we felt like something was unclear. And that's what I feel here, is that something doesn't feel tangible or clear. A path to this golden gate does not feel clear. It's illusionary. It's not solid. But there's something that's going to come in where we've been confused. We've been in the state of confusion, or even overthinking something, or not understanding something. Something's going to come in and help solidify that. I don't know what that's going to be, and it's going to be a bit of a shock. Whatever it is, I really feel like it's going to be a shock. It's going to be something that you thought would never happen until pigs fly. That kind, when hell freezes over, it's going to be that kind of a thing, where I think that's why that emotion card is there like it is, because I really feel like it's going to be, it's going to be something really that we didn't unexpect, and it's going to catch us off guard, is what I really feel like. So let's go ahead. Let's see. What do I want? I got to do 3 final cards, but I don't know. No deck is really speaking to me. So what do we want to do to wrap this up? I keep getting drawn to the past life deck. So I don't know, I'm getting drawn to this, so let's see what comes out of it. I don't know. I'm just going to go with what, I keep getting pulled to this deck for whatever reason, so we'll see what happens. What do you want to add from this deck? Food and hunger. So this is what I'm getting off of this card, is that food and hunger card, is that where we have felt a deficit, we have felt a deficit in our lives, is where this is going to impact. During this time, during this coming time, there's going to be something where some part of our life somewhere, and it really, I guess that's why this came out, is to show you that's how you're going to know, how this might apply is this deficit, that where you've been feeling a deficit. And that really comes into play because if you look at this, we had the judgment and the justice card, and that can definitely, with those cards, can talk about the scales balancing and karma and something coming around in our favor. So it's somewhere where we've maybe felt this deficit in our lives. There's going to be the opportunity to fill that void, to fill that deficit, if we take advantage of the coming energies of this coming week, the energies we're going to find ourselves in, the opportunities that you might encounter during this time. It really is going to provide us with something to fill this deficit for us. But whether we allow it to happen or not is solely going to play on our free will, and the choices that we make, as always. So this is just, kind of giving you the picture of telling you, hey, there is something in that might provide a lot of clarity, that might help you understand or get past or equalize this deficit that you've experienced in some aspect of your life, that it's going to balance that justice. It's going to balance those scales where you felt like you couldn't, you didn't feel like something was fair, that justice, where it was illusionary. It's going to solidify that, and where it felt like it was a deficit, it's going to balance those scales for you, or has the opportunity or potential to do that at this time. If you make the right choices, if you see it for what it is, and you don't get up in your head, you don't confuse yourself, you don't, a lot of things that can come into play there, but there is that opportunity. So that's what I have for this week. I love doing these readings. I love doing them this way. I hope you guys do too. I know this reading doesn't get a lot of view time. I know it doesn't get out there very much because I don't get a lot of people that watch it, but for you folks that do take the time to watch it, I think these are amazing readings. I feel like I connect to them better than anything I do or even see out there. Sometimes there's some really good readers out there, not going to deny, but I like doing this, and that's why I'm called Soul Conscious Tarot, because I want to do the kind of readings that really speak to what, to life and what we're experiencing in life, and what we could be experiencing and what we may encounter, and how do we maybe deal with some of that stuff, how can we heal things in our lives. Those are the kinds of things I like to do readings around, is that kind of, what can we expect and how can we counteract it, or what, when we're aware of something and we know what's coming down the pipe, then we're prepared for it. And that's what I want to help people be better prepared to maybe either face things they may have to face here soon, or encounter, or or to think about things that they maybe haven't thought about, or think about them in a new way, in a different way, those kinds of things. So that's what I have for you. Gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. I thank you so much for watching. I wish you the best this week. Joy, love, and light.